Okay, let's get you the very latest coming out of Denver. We're now joined by Newzroom Africa's Ziniko Mhlaba. Ziniko, perhaps for a viewer who's just joining us, you can just show and tell us what it is that we're talking about in terms of these structures that have been provisionally set up for people.
So to do it here in Denver, downtown Johannesburg, in one of the sites where the people who were allocated, who were placed at various shelters here in and around Johannesburg have now been moved to a temporary site due to various reasons which we'll try to get from the Department of Human Settlements here in the city of Johannesburg and also the province. So we're just outside, we're at the entry point of one of those sites. I'm going to step out of shot so that will give you a sense of how the situation is. So these are the structures, but I'm so these are the sites, as you can see. But now the major issues to do will have noticed as we try to take an unofficial tour, just walking around and inside these facilities, you'll see that the structures are just, put up on concrete. So there's no sense of foundation. So I imagine if maybe there could be a hailstorm, you can only imagine what will happen to these structures because they do not have a foundation. But at the very bottom of these structures themselves, there is no cement that is surrounding the structure, so that in case there's any flooding, in case there's any rain, to protect the structures from getting that flooding water inside those shacks. So that's the situation here. So it seems as if it's just a structure that has just been bought and just being put on top of this cement. So in terms of security, well, there is a security company that is stationed actually where we are. We're at the entrance. Just next to us is the security company that is tasked with ensuring that no one who is not known to this community is able to access this place. So there are some officials who just arrived about 2 hours ago. They're still engaging with the members of the community in terms of trying to allocate who is coming here. But we understand that there is a group of, not everyone who was housed at those shelters has been brought in here. Some are just being brought in trips so that firstly they need to come and see and get a sense of whether they are happy with the place which they will be allocated and they'll be located at. However, no one knows whether if those people are not happy, what will happen? Will they be given another option? So let's get a sense from one of the residents themselves of the Usindiso building who is yet to be placed inside here, so that we get a sense of how he's feeling. He's seen the place and what does it look like for him. Usibonile isimo manje ukuthi kunjani la. Ngicela usitshele nje ukuthi wena usuka kuphi, bokade ukuphi lesi sikhathi sensomlilo, nokumele usiyayibona le ndawo. Uzizwa kanjani la? Ngizokubambela.
Okay. Cha, ngibingelele bonke abantu base South Africa ngendlela sasengakhona sashelwa eshelter eDelvas. Ngizoqala nje lana ngozama kwakhe ngwabiyela ngisuka enkandla la ngisuka khona eMakhendla isigodi, kepha ngenxa ukuthi indawo sesitholile ngokuthi sashelwa eshelter ngizizwa ngijabule kakhulu, nabahlali bajabule kakhulu, nabaye futhi basazithola futhi izindlu, lezindlu futhi ikhona. Ngihappy kakhulu ngendlela anisiphathe kahle ngakhona. Ya, cha futhi akukho ngokubunye mhlawumbe ngakusho, kodwa nje ngendlela nje esijabule ngakhona, we are very 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 happy.
Ngokwesimo seyinsinda mfethu, ucabanga ukuthi mhlambi abantu abangekafiki, ngiyacabanga ukuthi abanye abakafiki la, ungathini ukubona ukuba update laba mhlambi abaseselabeni kade nikhona ngaphambilini?
Cha, iqiniso kube iqiniso bafowethu, abanye baseza futhi abantu abashelwayo, engisacela futhi abanye abantu beze futhi bezobhalisa ngendlela abasenzele ngakhona. Abafowethu basenzele ngendlela eright. Akukho kudlula ukuthi siyabonga ngendlela anisilahlanga sangalala kuphi emgaqweni. Singabali sonke siyavota ngendlela eright, so vota futhi ngendlela sovota ngakhona. Mina ngibonga kakhulu bafowethu.
Ubhalisile yini ukuvota?
Yebo ngibhalisile impela.
Okay, siyabonga mfakabiyela.
Ngiyabonga.
Sharp. That's Mr. Biela there, very happy person who's saying that he appreciates what they have been given in terms of accommodation, saying that if it wasn't for such initiatives, they will be asleep on the street. So that's the situation here. As we're talking with Mr. Biela, we saw some officials from the Department of Human Settlements walking in with some residents themselves. So those are the people, as I was saying, to do that. They are here to view the place. So when you look at in terms of the water services, remember earlier on we spoke of one tap. However, there is a tap that's being installed. So in terms of the services, it seems as if there is improvement. There's a plan that's been put in place. We're also told off camera that the department or the responsible officials have actually commissioned Johannesburg, the city of Johannesburg, City Power, to start now installing or try to see the possibility of installing electricity in this facility. So that's the latest from us to do for now.
Ziniko Mhlaba, you mentioned rather the authorities from human settlements, some of whom we're hoping to speak to on the program a little bit later on in this hour. But just how many evolution facilities have you noted there?
So when in terms of the actual structures we've sorted, I think there are more than 50 from what I've seen, but obviously I couldn't count them, so I can't give you a specific figure. But in terms of my observation, I think it's over 50 structures that are here. However, there's an element that is a bit concerning, which we'll need to follow up on in terms of the people who are non-South Africans who are victims of the fire in Marshalltown. So apparently, they have not been allocated to structures such as this one or to places such as this one for various reasons. When I engaged with the human settlement official, because I got that information from one of the residents, saying that actually we do have friends who are coming from other countries who were spending time with those temporary shelters in which they were placed at after the fire. So they are saying that when the time came for them to be moved to this place, some of them were cornered by local authorities, law enforcement, from Home Affairs, from JMPD, and they were asked for several documents, and in the absence of those, they were arrested. And as we are speaking right now, some of them now are being accommodated at Lindela Center, which we know is a Home Affairs institution or facility that is housing people who are still yet to be engaged by government authorities in terms of their citizenship, in terms of their papers, whether they've got the legit papers or not. And according to what we are hearing them from the African Diaspora Forum, is that those people now are attending court cases. So it will also be interesting to follow up on that story, on that angle, in terms of under what grounds, and if maybe they are arrested because they were in South Africa illegally, why couldn't they be arrested during the very first time before they were placed in those facilities? And try to get a comment from Africa Diaspora Forum as well to give us more details of that. So those are some of the many angles that this story now is exposing in terms of how the officials from the city of Johannesburg, but also government institutions, have been handling this place. But from what we see here, it doesn't look as if the city was well prepared in terms of ensuring that this place is ready to accommodate people. As we're talking earlier on that, as I said earlier on that, it's still facilitating, engaging with city power in terms of ensuring that people here have access to power. So those are some of the issues we'll try to get from the authorities.
Okay, Ziniko Mhlaba, thank you very much for that report.